I'm sorry, we have to ask you about this because it was so incredibly devastating. In the season 4 finale, spoiler alert, Rita gets killed by the Trinity Killer, who was played by John Lithgow, in a huge cliffhanger, and it truly altered the show. So, how and when did you find out that they were going to kill off Rita, and how did you feel about that decision?
Um, so I only found out a couple days before. Um, uh, and I was devastated. I always say nobody was more devastated than me. There's no one more devastated than how I felt in that moment. Um, I felt like I had failed Rita in some ways. I I've talked about this before, where like season 1 and season 2, the Dexter Rita relationship was so well done, and but a couple of the writers left, and then we got new writers in, and they never seemed to really recapture that dynamic that we had in season 1 and 2. And I know the nature of television, and especially episodic television, where like some seasons you have a great storyline, and then sometimes you just take a back seat and because they have to focus on other things, and then you come back and you have like, right, it's all kind of cyclical. I should have spoken up, especially in season 3. I felt in season 3 they were making Rita to be kind of just really silly, and I had expressed my concern to my manager, and but at the same time, we were like, I love being on the show, so I didn't take it further than just having a conversation with my manager about it, because I'm like, this is the nature of the beast and it'll change. And like, they have to focus on other characters. And because there were other actors during season 1 and season 2 who weren't happy with their storylines. And I'm like, I'm really happy. Like I love my storyline. So it's the nature of the beast of what it means to do television. So I just thought, okay, it's just the taking the back seat. And I have since, in hindsight, realized that I should have spoken up more and should have fought for her voice to be, not elevated, but I felt like it had veered to all of a sudden she was kind of reduced to like the ridiculousness of like she was the butt of the joke basically. And they basically turned her into the villain to Dexter in some ways. And I think that led to, I don't know, if I could go back in time and speak up more for her, then maybe there would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching for the first time, and I remember my boyfriend and I being devastated because we loved this character. And you're right that I can see how the storyline did sort of change from the first 2 seasons to the next 2 when there was like the weird, like neighbor and the cheating kind of thing. And I was like, wait, what's going
That
on?
was so addict. I mean, that was just not, there was a lot in that didn't really make sense.
Yeah, no, but it's like, but what's weird is that moment of killing her, like, it changed, like, Dexter, the whole show. And I was wondering, after having to deal with the death, how tough was it for you to come back and film the first episode of season 5, or did you feel like filming the funeral, did that provide some closure for you as an actress also for Rita?
Well, it was tricky times for me because I was told that it was a last minute decision to kill Rita off. And then somebody came to me who had no stake in the game and said that's not true. That was always the plan from the beginning of the season. And so I felt really lied to. And they really stuck to their guns that, oh no, it was a last minute decision, last minute decision, last minute decision. And so when they asked me to come back for season 5, I was already on another show. I was doing No Ordinary Family for ABC at the time. And ironically, they didn't want me to do it. And we had to convince them that it's the right thing to do to help them end the character. So you know what I mean? And it was the right thing to do. But I did ask for the pitch notes for season 4 because I don't like to be lied to. And I requested to see the pitch notes before I would agree to go back for that one episode. And they showed them to me, and it gave me closure.
Oh,
it gave me closure. So I didn't feel like I had been made a fool of, and then I had been lied to. Like there's so much in Hollywood. People lie. They'll lie right to your face. And for me as a woman, it's if I knew that they had lied to me. Like I was 100% sure. And it was there in the pitch notes. And that's all I wanted was for them to know, like, I knew. And this is all, like, I'll come back and clean up the storyline for you. But don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. No, but really, like that's some inspiring. And stand your ground. And I love that you're like, okay, now I see it in the notes. Y'all fucking lied. It was so.
Yeah, but it was really like I was at a meeting. It was in a meeting situation, and I saw it, and I was like, all right, okay, well, I'll come back. Like I didn't make a big deal about it. I didn't go like, you lied to me. It was just like it was confirming because I think they were really confused. Because I was so hurt by the decision. They had just renegotiated my contract. It was really like they ripped the rug out from underneath me. And I remember my manager having a conversation with the executives, and they were like, we don't understand why she's so like hurt, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, listen, she's been around a long time. She's been in this business since she was 13 years old. She's been killed off of a ton of different shows. They always enlisted her in the process. Like you're just like 2 days before the last day of filming of the season, you're telling her this. Like, you ripped the rug out from underneath her. So of course, and that's exactly how I felt, which was, I felt like I was being treated like a child. And there I was like a, 35, 38-year-old woman, like being treated like I'm this like little child. And that's my biggest pet peeve is if you treat me like I'm a child, because I am the youngest in my family.
So am I. Very relatable.
Yeah.
So that's what was really upsetting to me was that they didn't enlist me in the process. Like, on Angel, I mean, they sent me that script. They wanted my opinion on it. They asked me how I felt. They enlisted me.
Yeah, that seems like like common courtesy, you know?
And did you end up watching the rest of Dexter?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I actually didn't even watch the death scene. They had Showtime did a big finale party with fans, and they wanted me to go. And
God.
I was still like, honestly, Rita was a character I had to mourn and grieve. And I think it was because I wasn't enlisted in the process. And I wasn't going to go. And then I decided, I made the decision because the fans were going to be there. And I was like, okay, well, it's not fair to them. Like, I'll go for the first half. So I went for like the previewing cocktail party. And then as soon as they put the show on, I left because I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to be a mess. Like, I'm getting emotional talking about it. Like, I just remembering, like, I'm going to bawl my eyes out if I'm here at the end. And I don't want to share that vulnerability with everybody. Like, that's not. So I left and went home and didn't watch it. And it was, to me, I was concerned, like, what if people weren't shocked? Like, what if they didn't care? What if the fans didn't care that Rita was, what if they were like, oh, thank God, finally.
Oh, we cared. We cared.
Right?
I remember that moment too. Like, it's taking me back to when I first saw that. We cared. Trust me. Yeah.
So then it wasn't until like a couple of days later, I went out to dinner with some friends in West Hollywood of all places.
Ooh.
And walked into a restaurant, and like literally you could hear all the talking just stop. and people coming up and giving me hugs and crying because they couldn't believe I was still alive. and and like me walking down the street and like people stopping their cars and coming out and like bawling that I'm still alive. And I'm like, it's not a snuff film.
You're like, hey, I'm
but that's
here.
when I realized what the impact was.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
that's
so
a
I
great
have chosen
story.
not to watch it. And honestly, it's really hard to watch a show after you've been on it because like the magic's kind of gone, you know. So it's not abnormal that I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
Well, from a hardcore Dexter fan, and this is the absolute truth, the seasons you were on the show were the best seasons of the show. And I'm not just saying that, like it did really falter after that. Like when I say it altered the show, it really did. They made some more questionable decisions. They killed off more characters that were very questionable. It just seemed like it just couldn't find its footing. So you got the best of Dexter, I can tell you.
I mean, in hindsight, to be given the most talked about moment in the history of the series, and it still is to this day, even with all the different iterations of the show, people still talk about Rita and Rita's death. I didn't realize that in the moment, but now I see like in many ways it was a big gift that they gave me, even though it felt so personal.
Right.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So moving on to 2008 Saw 5, where you played Britt,
Switching gears.
Yeah, switching gears.